Hi there, this is Mark Schauder with Sotheby's International Realty with another episode of Poway Today. Today I'm here with Frank Napolitano of Sensible Financial Planning. Welcome, Frank.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Why don't you tell us about your business and what you do?
Sure. So Sensible Financial Planning. We are a financial planning firm. We've been in the business since 2002. We're approximately a dozen professionals, offices here in San Diego and in Boston. And we do financial planning and investment management strategies for primarily individuals and couples.
Okay. And why did you choose to go in this field? I know you've got a long history, a long background.
Sure. There's a sort of circuitous way of coming to financial planning. So years ago when I was in law school, I was planning on becoming a lawyer, right, as most people are in law school. I took a number of classes at the time that interest me a lot. So federal taxation, estate planning was my first introduction to kind of capital markets and finance by means of law. And I said, well, this is really interesting stuff. And unlike the joke is you go to law school to avoid math. I actually really enjoy math. It's interesting. And I was taking these classes at the business school and sort of as many as I could take. And I said, well, I really like this. Getting toward the end of my time at law school, I said, well, I don't want to be an estate planning attorney.
Right.
I don't want to do bankruptcy or taxation every single day the rest of my life. But I like all these fields. And financial planning is a really interesting profession in the sense that it sort of pulls together a whole bunch of things. And it let me work with people as opposed to corporations. And and that's kind of how I got here.
Got it. Okay. So what drives you each day to get up and work with your clients?
Sure. So I think what's most interesting about financial planning is that we are working with people over time, and that's a fascinating thing because I see clients from as young as in their 30s or something, and they're dealing with a very specific set of questions and issues. And I see people nearing retirement, and they're dealing with a totally different set of issues and questions. And every day it's something comes up. Somebody's thinking about changing their job. They're thinking about moving. They have a question about whether they can help their kids with the down payment on a house or something. So it's always dynamic, and to me it's meaningful because it's people trying to figure out answers to real questions, right? So that's what I love about it.
Okay. And what has surprised you about this field?
Surprised me about the field. I think when I started, I just assumed, well, to be good at this, all you really have to do is be a professional and be a consummate professional. And I think we're well positioned as a firm, as professionals. We have all of our advisors have their certified financial planning designation. We have a PhD in economics. We have several MBAs. We have a JD, 2 CFAs on staff. So we feel like a financial powerhouse.
Full service.
Full service. That's right. And I underestimated the extent to which people's emotions and feelings about money are really important in this industry. So I'm spending as much time as I am or more helping people think through problems and sort of they're struggling with the behavioral aspects of finance and money and transferring and getting older as I am on actual analysis and things like that. That's really surprised me over the last about 10 years.
Interesting. So what is it that people love about what you do?
I think when people come to us, the typical person comes to us looking for a financial plan, and they're not sure necessarily whether what we do is what they want, but at the end of it, they usually say, "Oh yeah, that's what we're looking for." It's the perspective that a real financial planning can give people. So people come to us and maybe they've never done a budget before in their lives. They have no idea whether they're living within their means, above their means, below their means. They may not have a sense of, they know you'll eventually retire, but what does retirement look like, or things like this. So I think, to me, it's the perspective that sort of real financial planning can give to people that is what makes the profession great and what makes working in the industry so great.
And what are some of the greatest challenges that you experience with your clients?
kind of just that. It's,
Yeah.
it's kind of convincing people that financial planning is sort of a useful endeavor. It's worth their time. My boss, our founder, is fond of saying, plans are useless, planning is essential. Mm-hmm. Which sounds strange coming from a financial planner, right? Plans are useless, right? Remember that. It was a quote attributed to Eisenhower, and he was talking about kind of emergencies, and the idea is, well, you can't plan an emergency because by definition it's unexpected,
right.
It's unanticipated. But sitting down and thinking through all these sort of scenarios and how they may play out in and of itself is a useful endeavor, right? And financial planning is the same thing. Financial planning, we'll sit down with people sort of across the table and we'll talk about what retirement may look like. We'll talk about how many kids they may have if they're really young. We can have assumptions about what the rates of return will be over their lives. Mm-hmm. And we're going to be wrong.
Right.
We're going to be wrong a lot, in fact. But the process of talking through these things is so important because today people can make changes, they can adapt, modify mm-hmm. behaviors to get them on the path that they want to be over time. And over time, as we get closer to, let's say, retirement or buying a house, sort of the information we have gets closer to reality, and mm-hmm. It's a very useful thing for people. It's hard to explain, right. But sort of at the end of it, most people walk away from a real good financial plan. They say, "Wow, that I really feel prepared."
So is it best for people to come to you younger? So the younger they are, the better. Or?
So the profession has a problem where, most people who come to do a financial plan are already in their 50s.
Okay.
And I think you would say, well, there are a lot of important decisions we make prior to 55 that it could be useful to get some insight into. Mm-hmm. What sort of careers we choose. If we're going to have children, how many, and does one partner stay at home? Do both people stay in the workforce? So, of course, it's really helpful when we're young. And I wish we saw more young clients coming in the door. It's just, mm-hmm. I think the public perceptions is such, well, you can't do sort of financial planning until you are nearing retirement or you have $1 million in your IRA or mm-hmm. something like that. So, yes, more young people should be doing financial planning.
So obviously to get there, it's coming to see you earlier, which will help plan.
Right. The example I sometimes think about with people is, well, if you showed up at our offices the day before retirement, your option set is much more limited. Right. We can tell you where you are, but we can't tell you sort of what you can do more of over the next several years to be where you want to be.
Got it.
You're starting here, though. There's just a lot more options. There's a lot more possibilities. So the perspective is much greater, I think.
Mm-hmm. What memorable experiences have you had in this time that you've been working in this industry?
So, I mean, I have clients now for going on 10 years. So I've seen them through, buying their first house, having children, working and operating in businesses, and now being retired. Some of the more memorable experiences I have is when somebody comes to us after several years and they have a question about their kids, or we see this increasingly. They have a question about aging parents, and sort of what can we do to help? That's it's great from the perspective of the trust I think clients engender with us, but it's also really helpful. It's really nice to think that we're helping people solve real problems.
Right.
Right. So I think the more we're working with families and things like that, I really like that, and that's a valuable thing because we know our clients really well. Right? We work with them over time.
Right. Sounds great. What's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
So phone, email, fax. Just kidding. www.sensiblefinancial.com. We have a very robust website. A lot of good articles, I believe, and the Contact Us page has all of the information there for phone and email and all those various things. So.
Very good. I appreciate your time, Frank.
Yeah, thank you so much.
This is Mark Schauder with Sotheby's International Realty with another episode of Poway Today.